Good morning. Welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is Wednesday, October 28, 2009. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in Baden-Baden, and in Mexico City it's 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL Instant Mail address is CATEX-TV. On this day in history, in 1886, the Statue of Liberty, which sits in New York Harbor, was dedicated by then-President Grover Cleveland. Today's birthday is Bill Gates, 54 years old. I guess he has $1 billion for every year he's been alive. Some news that we're not going to cover, but you should be aware of. There was a massive explosion in the Waziristan region of Pakistan, up in the northwest part of the country, shortly after U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton arrived in the area. At least 90 people are dead. There was never any question about the security surrounding Mrs. Clinton. And there was also another big attack in downtown Kabul at a 5-star luxury hotel. So more bad news from that area of the world. Now to our news. Pretty much all good news. Renaissance Re down in Bermuda has swung to a third quarter profit of $260 million on the back, of course, of a lack of any insured catastrophe claims and also very strong underwriting gains. The same quarter last year, they had a $231 million loss. That was the result of the double impact of Gustav and Ike, which slammed them for a $419 million underwriting loss last year. The end of this period last year, they had a 117% combined ratio. Their combined ratio now for the third quarter of this year, underline this twice, is 43.3%. That's after the company generated an underwriting income of about $168 million for the 3-month period. Neil Curry, of course, the CEO of Renaissance Re, is very pleased. He said, quote, "We've generated solid underwriting profits reflecting the quality of the portfolio of risks we've underwritten." Gross written premiums fell for the third quarter of the year by $37 million, down to $202 million. They're obviously being very selective, but the drop was also partly attributed to $49 million in reinstatement premiums written in the company's reinsurance segment in the third quarter of 2008 as a result of Gustav and Ike, which did not recur in the third quarter of 2009. Our congratulations to all of them, and especially to our friend Bill Ashley down in Bermuda. The UK insurer Chartist may be the insurer and Willis the broker for the huge refinery blast in San Juan over the weekend at the facility owned by Caribbean Petroleum Corporation. Insurance sources are saying that Chartist, which was called AIU until it was split off from AIG, had 100% of the first $30 to $50 million limit for the insurance of the petroleum tanks. 21 of the 40 tanks on site exploded. It's still unknown at this time who the reinsurers were for the business. Chartist has declined to comment. Reinsurance Magazine is saying that multiple sources are telling them that Willis was the broker for the business. Willis has refused to comment when asked the question by reinsurance at the Baden-Baden meeting. Other insurance sources are saying that there were tank cover, stock, and pollution policies taken out by the Caribbean Oil Company as well, but it's not known who the insurers were for them. The FBI is looking to see whether or not the disaster was an act of arson. Yesterday we covered this story. It was a front-page story in the New York Times talking about how Maurice Greenberg was essentially reinventing AIG at CV Star by poaching a number of his former AIG employees, especially after the pay freeze and pay cuts. Today CV Star aggressively denied this, saying they were not doing that. They said, in fact, that only 13 former AIG employees have joined them. Insurance Insider understands that one of these include aviation executive Jim Herbert. Starr also noted that a number of other companies have in fact been more aggressive in hiring former AIG employees, and one commentator observed that former Lexington head Kevin Kelly was brought on by Ironshore, and Kevin then brought on a number of former AIG people as well. So that little imbroglio still stirs. Another Greenberg is in the news. Evan Greenberg at Ace Insurance down in Bermuda had his earnings released, and they did very well. Actually, they're theoretically based in Zurich. They have operations in more than 50 countries. ACE announced that third quarter profit increased ninefold from a year ago, mainly on the back of light cat claims. Net income rose to $494 million from $54 million a year ago. Operating income, which excludes some investment results, was $2.07 a share. This beat the $1.91 average estimate of 15 analysts surveyed by Bloomberg. Cat losses dropped 90% to $45 million from $411 million in the same period last year. This is an interesting quote, as Michael Paisan, an analyst at Stifel Nicolaus & Company, said, "You don't have any hurricanes, which means that the earnings are going to be strong." One other news coming from Bermuda, private equity-backed insurer Taurus is experiencing rapid growth in its casualty profile, and it's expected to post a modest pre-tax profit for 2009. The group now has trading platforms in the U.S., Bermuda, and London. It's only in its second year of operation. It still will probably post another underwriting loss this year, partly due to the high level of expenses associated with the rapid expansion. Taurus posted a loss of $30 million in 2008, which was its first year of trading. These comments are coming from AM Best. The ratings agency affirmed its A- financial strength, but they did note the fast-moving expansion, which is something perhaps to be aware of, certainly if you're Taurus. Stock market is down about 18 points. We do have some economic news that came out. We'll get to that in a second. There's a word from our sponsors.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity.
Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation.
Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
We're obviously getting a number of stories coming from the Baden-Baden meeting in Germany, and we're being a little bit selective, or else we'd be essentially functioning as a mouthpiece. The one we did note this morning regards Swiss Re. Swiss Re has made continuity its key priority during the reinsurance renewal meetings in Baden-Baden. Martin Albers, one of those very active Swiss Re executive board members and the head of Swiss Re's Client Markets Europe, said the company is looking for continuity, quote, both in our relations with customers and our disciplined approach to underwriting. Albers said in 2009 so far,